In the Deb, high school outcast Taylah is certain that the upcoming Debutante Ball, the Deb, is her one chance to redefine herself and become the popular girl once and for all. When her cynical cousin from the city, Maeve, is sent to Taylor's small farm town as punishment, she thinks the ball is a farce and immediately tries to disrupt the status quo. In their search for the spotlight, Taylah and Maeve dig deep to find self-acceptance and a date to the Deb. The Deb is directed by actress Rebel Wilson, and this film is her directorial debut, and the Deb debuted at the 2024 Toronto International Film Festival and is finally being released in Australian and New Zealand cinemas starting April 9, 2026. The Deb is a very impressive directorial debut from actress Rebel Wilson. It's just some of the set pieces in this film. It is so ambitious. Just the scope of this film and the musical numbers, the way they're choreographed, and even from a seasoned director, this would be difficult. But this film just doesn't feel like a film from a debut director. The film opens with a opening musical number. It's kind of like making fun of the private school, like rich type girls that live in Sydney, Australia, and it really nails that like self-deprecating tone. And the song is called "Fuck My Life," and as soon as that song just kind of introduces you to the type of humor and type of musical numbers that we'll get in this film, and I knew as soon as I heard that musical number, I'm gonna like this film. In The Deb, Charlotte McGuinness plays Maeve, a student in maybe final year of high school, and she causes some trouble and gets expelled from school. Her mother is the principal of the school, and she has to, as punishment, she has to stay in a small country town 6 hours away from Sydney with her cousin and her father, played by Natalie Abbott and Shane Jacobson. There's a bit of a fish out of water tale for Maeve because she's very used to living in like a rich type lifestyle, and when she goes to this country town, she's pretty much freaked out by everything, and not just the animals and the insects and the people, everything basically. And Natalie Abbott plays Taylah, and she's a very homey type high school girl. She's very down to earth. She doesn't really have the appearance of other teenage girls her age. I really like the relationship and friendship that forms between Taylah and Maeve as the film goes on. Like, as soon as Maeve gets to this small town, she doesn't make fun of Taylah. She accepts her for who she is. She defends her, and I think they have a really nice back and forth as the film goes on, really nice chemistry with each other. And this film is kind of a mix of a comedy and musical. There are musical numbers scattered throughout the film, but there are also long periods of time throughout the film where it's basically just a comedy, and musical numbers are sporadically spread out throughout the film. So it's not like a whole film is just singing. It's just maybe 7 or 8 musical numbers throughout the film, and then there's a lot of comedy and drama in between. It really has that Rebel Wilson type humor. Like, not all of the humor lands in this film, but there's so many. It's kind of like a kitchen sink of one-liners and gags in this film. So a lot of them don't hit, but a lot of them do hit. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but it really has it really nails that different types of Australian humor and the characters. And for me, this film was a little bit too long, but I think that's a bit of a double-edged sword because the length of the film allows all the characters in this film to be fully developed, and it's hard to pick which was my favorite musical number in the film. I think maybe halfway through the film, the teenagers in this country town decide to have a drinking party at an abandoned house, and before the party, a lot of the teenagers have this like musical number. They're getting ready for the party, and they're kind of like establishing who they are in the town and what they're going to do at this party. And then all the different types of teenagers and type of people, they'll get together before the party and do this like elaborate musical number in the dark, and the lighting and the musical numbers, and like it's mixed with like original music and popular music. And I think that was probably my favorite musical number in the film. I give The Deb 4 stars out of 5. I highly recommend checking out this very ambitious, impressive directorial debut from Rebel Wilson. It has a lot of very elaborate, original, like very well staged, choreographed musical numbers scattered throughout the film, and in between that, we get a lot of very interesting characters and a lot of humor that doesn't always land, but a lot of the humor does land, and it's just really self-deprecating and a lot of Australian humor that you recognize throughout this film. So I highly recommend checking out this film, The Deb. You'll be definitely charmed and entertained throughout. Thanks for watching. What do you think of The Deb? Please comment below what you thought of the film. See you next time. Bye.